Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Vanguard and today we'll be going through everything you need to know about Octopath Traveler. This is an upcoming turn-based JRPG video game being developed by Square Enix in collaboration with Acquire on the Unreal Engine 4 and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch console. The project and team was started by producer Takahashi and Asano, who previously headed the Bravely series. Games have had great praise for its satisfying combat design and its overall enjoyable experience. So when Octopath Traveler was first announced January last year, later releasing a demo in September 2017, and a second one more recently in June 2018, I was really excited. From its visual style, traditional turn-based gameplay, atmosphere and soundtrack, there's a lot of promise heading into the release of this game. The demo is currently available on the eShop for free and allows you to play up to 3 hours of its beginning segments. I do recommend trying it out before playing, since the progress made does carry over to the final game, if you do decide to purchase it. I've made an impression video on the experience myself, but without further ado, let's get right into it. So what exactly is Octopath Traveler about? Well, it aims to tell a story of 8 different characters from all over the world who are off on adventures to fulfill their different aspirations and duties they've set themselves for, hence the game's name. Depending on where they came from and their background history, they'll have unique abilities known as path actions and talents, which can determine how they fight in combat and interact with NPCs. While they do all come together to form a party, the stories seem fairly distant and disjointed from one another. At least that's the impression I got from the demo. There's Primrose, a dancer with a tragic past, on a quest to avenge her father who was murdered. Therion, a well-known master thief who is on a quest to find one of the Dragon Stones. Cyrus, a professor at Atlas Dam, who is in search for a lost tome that mysteriously vanished. Hannah, a fierce hunter who is after her mentor's whereabouts after being missing for an entire year. Alphen, a kind young apothecary who wants to travel the world and help those in need. Tressa, a traveling merchant who has a strong drive to explore and see the world. Ophelia, one of the sisters that work at the Church of Flame's Grace, tasked to go on a pilgrimage. And Ulbrich, a warrior who sets out on a new adventure to find his former comrade. You start with any character in the story and build your party in any order. How each individual are introduced will be played through their flashbacks and current situation that set them up on such a journey. Upon completing the backstories, they will be recruited into the team. It is unclear as of right now how much these stories will intertwine, but according to multiple sources such as GameSpot and Kotaku, they reported that the cast of 8 characters haven't had much interaction with each other so far, so if you were expecting an interconnected storyline, you might be disappointed. The game is set in an open world that truly has a unique style of presentation. The developers call it HD 2D, where they combine classic 16-bit sprites with polygonic environments and high-definition effects rendered in 3D. There's great use of depth of field, vignette and particle effects to really enhance the visual experience. The soundtrack composed by Yoshinori Nishiki is also something worth mentioning, as from what I've heard so far, it truly is stunning to listen to. Octopath Traveler features turn-based battles, with a party of up to 4 members. You'll be able to use different weapons, elemental attacks, buffs and etc. Each characters have their own set of unique abilities known as path action and ability, which determines different ways you can interact with civilians or NPCs in town, divided into 2 main groups. Noble, the ability strength, which depends on the character's level or amount of currency they have, and Rogue, which has a chance of decreasing the character's reputation upon other NPCs. An example is Primrose and Ophelia, who can guide NPCs and summon them in combat, or Cyrus and Alphen, who can inquire certain bits of information to progress with certain quests. Boost points are a unique feature in this game, where every turn passes without spending these points, you can gain one to boost a certain ability you have, such as using a basic attack multiple times in a single turn, to raise defense or guard, or to increase the potency of a specific ability. Each enemies have shield counters that can be reduced to 0. When doing so, you can stun them and land critical blows. To decrease the counter to 0, you'll have to strategically find its weakness through trial and error, if you haven't encountered the enemy type before. Once found, you can boost that particular attack to either deplete the counter faster for a stun, or to simply land harder blows. Octopath Traveler is set to release worldwide on July 13, 2018 for the Nintendo Switch. There's also a limited edition that includes a copy of the game, a stylized pop-up book, a map of the world and a replica coin of the in-game currency. It was revealed during Nintendo Treehouse Live presentation that the main storyline will offer around 50 to 60 hours of playtime, but can go up to 100 with additional side content. And there will be no DLC or other large content updates planned for the game after its release. Well, that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.